Hello and welcome to Vizrt Days. My name is Chris Black. I'm here with Stefanie Gjørven, Senior Director of Development and Technology Engineering at ESPN. Welcome, Stefanie.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yes, thank you for speaking at the show this year.
Thanks. I'm a little nervous for tomorrow, but hopefully things will go well and people will be interested. Good.
So ESPN just built this brand new building. They have a new studio. Why did they decide to build a new structure?
Yeah, so one of the things that we really needed was we needed a new facility that was format agnostic, right? I mean, we've had HD, we've had SD, and who knows, like, you know, we talk about 4K, we talk about 8K, we talk about various distribution models. So this building is format agnostic. It's a complete IP infrastructure. It has a fiber backbone with the Vizrt EXE router. And it allows us to be very, very flexible and grow over the next so many years as the technology grows.
Now, it's a complete IP infrastructure. Were there any challenges, or was the technology already out there for that?
No, it was years of challenges. So when we made that decision, so there were several years of planning. Number one, to buy the build, not to buy the building, to actually build the facility, right? So we needed to plan the land. So that in itself, our campus is on a tremendous amount of water. So there was a lot of planning that went into the building. So that was years and years of planning. And while that planning was going on, we were talking with various vendors about different technologies, different transport streams. What do we need? What types of transport streams? Because, we have MPEG and J2K, all various transport streams. So we teamed up with Vizrt and we worked with them on J2K, and none of that was out. So this was all something that we worked with them on. They built things to our specification. So it was years of development to get everything to where we needed it to be.
But now you have that infrastructure in place. Are you already seeing benefits from it?
Absolutely. Right now, the DC2, everything is going around that facility, J2K. There's no copper. It's all fiber. So we literally can do more. We can ingest more feeds. We can grow at the scale that we need to grow when we want to grow. So.
Fantastic. Now you also, of course, with this new building, have a new studio. And
we have a few new studios.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The one I keep on seeing
Yeah.
is the one with the big screens that are moving around.
Yes.
So in order to do that, you also had to come up with new technology to drive all of this content that's in the studio.
Yes.
I've heard this name batted around called Octoviz.
Yes.
It's not an official Vizrt product.
No.
It's got a great name.
But people know it, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's
it's very
the
catchy.
funny part.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? What went into the development of that?
Sure. So as the facility was being built, we knew we were going to put a SportsCenter set in there. SportsCenter is basically 24/7, and we didn't have enough downtime to support all the shows. So we needed a bigger studio, and it's actually broken out into two, which we call the main studio and the annex. So when I looked at the design, there was all of these monitors, and it's 127 to be exact.
In one studio?
In the one studio, yeah.
Wow.
Well, the combination, the main SportsCenter and the annex, but
okay.
127 displays.
Wow.
So we were looking at media servers, and we were looking at various workflows. So how are we going to put graphics in these monitors? So we're looking at aux sources and router sources, and the complication of how is the production going to do this? So not just getting graphics in there, how are we going to do this? So that's when I started looking at, okay, well, is there some way that we can leverage Viz? So we tried to virtualize it. So we looked and we were like, okay, can we do a monitor wall? But then production came back and said, well, no, we want, for example, we have an east wall which has 6 monitors. And sometimes we want to put, a single graphic in each monitor. So there's 6 graphics up there. But then we might want to do a transition and have one graphic across all 6. And then we might want to break it up into 3 and 3. So the need started to grow, and we needed to come up with something. So I called Gerhardt, And I said, look, you know, with the NVIDIA GPU technology, with 8 outputs from the GPU and now the sync board, I want to be able to create like a multi-pipe Viz, because, you know, when the Onyx is way back, you know, when the Onyxes were kind of the standard for Viz, we were able to multi-pipe it. So we were able to do high resolutions across, you know, odd resolutions. So working with Gerhard and his team, we kind of co-developed, you know, the GFX channels and what we started to call Octoviz.
Right, right. And, you know, actually, Octoviz has become a name that we call it inside of Vizrt as well. It's taken on quite a life of its own. We've been showing it at NAB and IBC, so, you know, it's been a huge development for both of us. How has the staff in the studio and your editorial staff been able to take advantage of this feature now?
Yeah, no, it's extremely beneficial because, number one, we have a animation and graphics team of about 80 people, and 40 of them use Viz on a daily basis. So we have 40 Viz artist stations. So to change their workflow into something else would be a huge hit for them. So the fact that they can still build Viz graphics, because they're still building graphics the same way they always have. It's really just the output side that's changing for them. So yes, they're building in different resolutions, but they're still Viz. And what we were able to do was adapt the same workflow. So not just for graphic creation, but for content creation. So production loves it because we can make graphics, we change their workflow very slightly, and they get real-time graphics in 127 monitors, and, you know, everything looks great, and the actual talent can now really interact with the set, and we use the graphics to do that.
Has there been a noticeable impact on the audience?
That I don't know. I'm assuming that ratings are doing well. I'm not a big ratings person. I think it looks great. I mean, I read the social media, the tweets and everything that go up, and, you know, you get good and bad for everything. But I do think what we've been able to do is better storytelling, because it's our jobs as content providers is we need to tell great stories, but also, you know, talk about and, you know, give stats and analysis and talk about things that are going to connect with our fans. So I do think we accomplished that with this set.
Great. And is there anything new that you guys are working on that you could tell us about?
Yeah, we're always working on stuff. That's all I can tell you.
Fair enough.
There's always stuff going on in our heads at ESPN.
Well, thank you for stopping by, Stefanie.
No, thank you.
And enjoy Bergen.
I'll try.